Mm. What is going on, everybody? This is my first ever film review. You know what? I've been wanting to do this for a long time. Been making excuses. Mainly just, I would assume, just being lazy, a little nervous, procrastinating, putting it off. But I don't know. Every time I watch a movie, I feel the necessity to regurgitate my thoughts, which I do. The little film app's called Letterboxd. I write down, but I feel like this is a better form of expression. And I've always wanted to have a YouTube channel, so I don't know. Maybe this is the first day of many, first review of many. So today I decided to review a film that just recently released. It's called JoJo Rabbit. Some of you may have heard of it. And yeah, I've never done this, so I'm probably going to seem very unprepared, which I am, completely unprepared. This is decided to sit down, literally eating cereal right now at, 3:50 p.m. You know what? Let's do it. Jojo Rabbit is a film that takes place in Nazi Germany, World War II, of course, and mainly follows this little kid, this little blonde boy, through the Nazi era, and it looks at how he interacts with other people his age that are also Nazi or rising through the Nazi party, whatever, academy kind of thing. What it means to be a Nazi, what it means to be a Nazi at that age. And it's mainly just a dark comedy. It's a funny movie. A few jokes are a little dark, I guess you can consider. That's what everyone's calling it, so I'm just going to also call it a dark comedy. But yeah, if you've seen the trailer, so if I'm saying anything that seems like a spoiler, I'm just gonna assume anything that's in the trailer is not a spoiler. So yeah, so I mean that's basically what the movie is about, I guess. It's a very general scope because whenever I watch reviews, I always wonder whether I should give a very detailed analysis of or detailed description of what the movie is like the plot, or my reaction. And I definitely think my reaction is obviously the reason you're here. Or maybe you just like to hear my voice, see my face, watch me eat some cereal at 3:52 p.m. It's not vegan, by the way. Okay, so I'm just gonna get straight into it. So earlier today, earlier today, I decided to review the film. I watched the movie last night. So I'm just gonna pull it up, and it was actually the longest review I've ever done. I was just saying in the group chat with my best friends. As every film goes on, I'll quickly show you guys like my films. It's so weird. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I mean, the more movies I watch, the more comfortable I am. So I think the first film I ever gave like a review thing was The Lighthouse. Look at that size. Okay. Second was The King. Good Time was a movie that I had watched before. I had just rewatched it. I'm just gonna go all the way to Jojo Rabbit. You have to scroll now. That's great. I'm happy about that. Took me about like 5-10 minutes. I just kind of like talk about it there. I was just gonna pull it up just to help me recollect my thoughts. Kind of like the gist of what I was trying to say was overall my favorite movies, or I guess my taste. Comedies are not really there. Okay, so I don't really mean that comedies are bad. I don't dislike comedies, but comedies are never going to be the films that I'm looking for. Humor is acceptable. Like movies that I love have humor. For instance, The Lighthouse, one of my favorites of the year, has humor. It's funny, but and some people even consider it a comedy. But that doesn't even feel like the genre, in my opinion. For instance, like Jojo Rabbit, like it's clearly like you watch the trailer, it's supposed to make you feel good, happy, and exciting. It's funny, right? Which is not a bad thing. Um, it's just never gonna be as emotionally impactful, I guess, for me. Always my favorite movies have always been serious films, and I don't mean to sound egotistical at all. Like I said, I like funny movies, but my favorites have always been the more serious films, and that's just my taste. So I started off my review on there saying that I think that already that film is at a disadvantage for me, but for others, I mean, that's kind of like the thing about this. It's like, what do you go into these films? What do you go into theaters for? What are you looking for? Um, but so I'm gonna kind of like come back to that and really explain what I'm trying to say by that at the very end after my review. So I'm gonna try to discuss the positives first. And honestly, now that I'm saying that, the funny thing about this movie is there isn't really anything I could say about it that's bad. Like this movie is not it's not bad. It's definitely a good movie. Maybe even great. Depends on who you're asking. For me, just below great. But that's if it were not a comedy and it were this quality, probably would be great. Um, Now the movie, there's nothing really I could say is bad. There's nothing that it's lacking or low in quality. I'll start off with the pacing. That's usually one of the first things I think about. How smoothly does the plot transition? How good is the writing in that the plot is moving smoothly and that you're entertained every single minute? There's never moments where you're just like, and also by the way, I'm by all means not actually educated literally in this topic, so if I sound like I'm trying to teach what film is, definitely not equipped for that. Now, Jojo Rabbit, Jojo Rabbit's pacing is good. I really like how it moves, and that's honestly one of the best things about movies like this. Is because they're always trying to be funny and lighthearted. Typically, and I would attribute this to a good director. Taika did really good, I think, in this film, acting and directing. But it's so important for a film not to feel boring. Now, I feel like a lot of people don't understand the difference between bad pacing and a slow film. And those can be independent, right? For instance, one of my favorite movies of all time is Blade Runner 2049. That is considered a slow burn film, right? There's not like every single 20, 30 minutes, something's not like, in terms of plot, there's no, like, that's kind of like the structure of a slow burn. It's just like little by little, these things build up, build up, build up, build up, build up. Obviously, you understand what a slow burn is until the very end and it hits. But it's not like you're bored, because unless you find slowness boring, then that's different. But you can have good pacing and be slow at the same time. Your plot's not like picking up, but there's still things occurring. Okay? So this is a film that is exciting, well paced. I mean, the way that the story is structured, the way that the story flows, I like it a lot. Secondly, the visuals. That's something that is always so remarkable for me, and a lot of people who truly do enjoy film obviously can agree with what I'm saying. Like when I was watching Jojo Rabbit, just even the set design of the city. I don't even know what city it was. Some city in Germany. But the buildings, bright pastel colors. I mean, I'm not a set design expert, but the colors of the buildings were gorgeous. The shots were gorgeous. The cinematography in this film is really, really good. Definitely one of the best of the year, from what I've seen. Cinematography, I feel like, is a step up for films. Like when there are these like core elements that I think shape the film. I would say like, I don't know, direction, score, writing, cinematography, character. I guess you could say that's writing. So 4, I feel like I'm missing something. Whatever it is, okay? I feel like cinematography, right? When you have really good cinematography, that's like, okay, now you can enter the next level of how fire you are as a film. Okay, this cinematography, pretty good. Okay, the shots are well composed, for the most part, and for a comedy film, like it's that's what's so cool. Like it's not even gonna be, it's not even a very serious film, and it still cares about how it looks, or at least the director cares about the cinematography. And I really, really, really respect a director who values those elements that I named earlier, mostly score and cinematography, because those two are actually quite overlooked, in general. And I don't want to poop on other films, so I'm not going to do that right now. But yeah, those are really, really important elements for my for my taste in films. So what else did I say? So I'm gonna take another look at my review. Forgive me for not being godly at this. All right. Performances. Nothing blew me away. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that right there. Nothing blew me away. Taika was cool. Honestly, that was one element that I didn't bring up in the beginning when I was describing the story. Taika plays Adolf in the film. If you've seen the trailer, you see that. Okay, no spoilers. And he's cool. It's an interesting form of storytelling. He's there with the kid. Um, not really giving anything away there, but just like, so whenever Adolf is in the film, it's definitely a unique thing. Okay, not my favorite thing in the world, but like it's cool. And I think Taika did pretty cool. Like Hitler was supposed to be funny. He was comedic. I liked it, but I really was impressed by the kid, because he's kind of the character. He is the main character basically. To helm a main character role at that age, I feel like is quite impressive. And yeah, he did pretty good, honestly. I feel like child actors in general. I haven't seen many child actors do really really good, and I think he does really good. Like I mean, that's a main character role, you know. I really like what he did. Scarlett Johansson, for the amount of time she was in, she was good. I told my friends, like, she plays his mother, and it was so weird. I don't know if this is the writing. I don't know if this is performance. Perhaps a combination of both. But every time I saw Scarlett Johansson, I felt like I was seeing my own mother on screen. So like every dynamic, everything she was saying, I felt like that was my mom speaking to me. Um, and that's part of what I liked a lot about this movie, is that it does get heartfelt, right? Like it made like the things that she does, the things that she does for his life, or the things that she says that he doesn't even fully understand. It made me reminisce about, like, I wonder how my mom was thinking when I was that age, when I was like 10, you know? The mother son bond is something that I find so heartwarming. But I don't know. I think that's like, I mean, the father daughter dynamic, the father son dynamic, the mother daughter dynamic. These are all dynamics that are really really beautiful to watch. Sibling dynamics. But I think one of my favorites, simply because I can relate to it directly, is the mother son dynamic. And yeah, I really liked what Scarlett Johansson was doing. So as far as performances, Taika, Scarlett, and then I don't know that kid's name, but I'm sorry if he's watching this video. Please forgive me. Um, but yeah, I think that's those were good performances. But that's the thing, is like at the end of this all, like I just named a lot of really good things about this movie, and it's a good movie. I'm saying this, it's not a bad movie, but I may do, yeah. This reminds me of Parasite. Parasite is another film that just came out recently. It's a Korean film, and it's getting a lot of Oscar buzz. The thing about Parasite, the thing about this, they're really good movies, right? There's nothing I could say that's like, oh my god, this is why was this in the movie, or like they should have done this. Like they're good on, like, you look at them, analyze them. There's not much you can critique, okay? Objectively. But there's not much that stands out. And maybe this is just me. Maybe this is how I look at movies, and I'm pretty sure it is, because obviously I'm not the guy when it comes to film taste. But like, moments are something that are so important to me in film, because unless you're some god, you don't hold on to 2 hours and 30 minutes of a film like that. Like, you think of it, you reminisce. Like when I think of JoJo, when I think of Parasite, I reminisce of the overall atmosphere, the vibe, how it felt to be in the Jojo Rabbit experience. says, as I previously mentioned, the atmosphere is something that's enjoyable about these kind of films. Parasite and Jojo Rabbit, I look at them and I think of them as just like a long collection of moments, right? Just like beginning to end, some time, Parasite, Jojo, whatever. And I'm just like kind of like envisioning like their timelines, right? There's nothing I could just pull out, no sliver I could just pull out and just watch for like a few minutes and be like, fuck, yes. Oh, like there's nothing there. Those kind of movies. And I don't think that makes it bad. I just don't think it could be exceptional. That's the word I think. There are things that I'm looking for in movies, right? Like there's scenes, there's moments, I'll just say scenes, right? These are like the things that I feel like are the defining characteristic of an exceptional film. Okay? So for example, a film, usually an exceptional film, has these elements. Good writing, so plot, character. You could say I try to incorporate themes, but I guess you could say themes is within writing also, like the depth of the film, like what does it mean, what was the point. So the writing, the direction, the score, cinematography, and then performance, of course. Um, these these factors are the requirements mainly for a really really good movie, and then incredible scenes. But most likely, when you have that combination, you're gonna have incredible movies. But that's the thing about this, right? Like you in Jojo Rabbit and Parasite, I'm gonna just say Jojo Rabbit. In Jojo Rabbit, it's a good movie. Like the story's good. It's good. Like not amazing. It's good. The direction, he does a good job, Taika, and acts as well, which is pretty cool. Um, like I said earlier, the pacing is good, so the writing is good. The visuals, the movie looks good. The score, a little lacking. It's okay. It's not a movie that's gonna blow me away with the score. It's not what I expected, anyways. But there's no scene. There's nothing in Jojo Rabbit that's just flooring. And some people would argue, and I know there are a few scenes I could think of right now that are good in this movie, and they do stand out, but they're not like, for example, a film that came out earlier this year, Joker. That's a film that has a ridiculous scene, the Murray Franklin scene. I'm not going to describe it, but if you know what I'm talking about, that is when I'm thinking about what makes a film spectacular, like what is that cherry on top? That's what I'm talking about. Okay, Dark Knight Rises. Think of him escaping the pit, rising through the pit. That is what makes that film 10 out of 10 instead of 9.5 out of 10 or 9 out of 10. Okay, Interstellar can name hella, right? The scene with him and his daughter right before she's gonna leave, that is gripping. Okay, and I don't want to get into those other movies because those are like the pinnacle of film in my eyes. Blade Runner 2049. Don't even get me started. So like they have everything that I look for, and then there's that cherry on top. Jojo Rabbit, Parasite, like they're good, but that's it. And that's my real gripe. That's what I'm trying to get across. Like my gripe after all these good things that I said is that it's not gripping, it's not hard hitting. And I guess maybe that's what I require. And if that's not what you require, then I guess that's okay. I mean, I guess that this will not um you can have a different opinion anyway. So that's kind of what I'm trying to say. But that's why I don't think this film can be exceptional. Like it could get Oscar buzz, I guess. Sure. Parasite as well. But they're lacking in something like that last thing. It's almost like the whole film has been winding up its fist with every single piece of quality. It just holds its fist in your face, and that's it, and it just stops. I just think that is. I'm not gonna say it's bad because it's just. I also don't like to call films forgettable, but it's a film that within a few months I'm gonna forget the majority unless I see some more shots. It looks good, but like I said, there's just something about it that's just holding itself back, and yeah. So at the end of the day, like does depend on what you're looking for in films or in this film. If you're looking for a good time, if you're looking for a lighthearted comedy, if you're looking for something that's an enjoyable, fun experience, this movie does that, and it does that well. And that's what it excels in. It excels in that. If anything, It's an incredible comedy, dark comedy, whatever. It's incredible at that. And if that's the job, if that's what you're looking for, you should be satisfied. But I try to critique every film on the same scale, and because of that, it's going to be on the same scale that I critique the serious films, and that's why it's going to be drawing back, and it's on the same scale as films that have those scenes, like I said. I feel like this video sounds like a rant. I'm going to try not to make it sound like a rant. So what's my verdict? Not big on giving like numbers and stuff, but if I had to give it out of 5 stars, 4 stars. That's what I did on the review, at least. I think that's fair. Given everything I had said, I feel like 4 is spot on. Given that I'm not even a huge fan of this genre, so like and that should say something. I feel like. I mean, it does good. It's a good movie. I guess that's the end. I've never done a video like this, so if it was weird or if it feels like I'm all over the place, that's because I am. I don't know why I talk like that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did not, let me know down below, I guess. Comment. If you have any suggestions for future reviews, I would love some suggestions. That would be excellent. Yeah.